Hi guys, welcome to Talk Cars. So hope you all are doing good and safe in your homes. So today's topic is a very important one. As you know, like I have been making a series of videos on buying a second-hand car, as well as some checkpoint videos I have made where you can see if a car is good and is it worth buying or keeping it in your radar to buy. So today's topic is a very important one. So this is more like a continuation to the previous video, which I can give in the I button, where I have explained you like 10 checkpoints that you can perform in buying a second hand car. So this video will talk more about the genuineness of the car from a documentation perspective, if it is registered correctly, if it is actually not a stolen vehicle, what all documents you should require. So this video will be more in and around that. So let's start this video. Okay guys, so the first checkpoint is a very simple one. So there is a website called as vahan.nic.in where you can see when the vehicle has been registered, what's the date and what's the fitness time for that vehicle. So let me show you in the screen here. So if you just go to this site vahan.nic.in, and here you'll have to create, like, go to know your vehicle details. You'll have to feed in your number. It's just like kind of a user ID. You'll have to create it for yourself. Mine is already created, so I'm not going there. You'll just have to put your password and you'll have to put the vehicle number and the verification code. And it will show you. So here if you see, this is like the RC status. So that's given the vehicle is Accent VT SX B4 BS4 Hyundai Motors Limited, RTA Hyderabad, my name, when the vehicle was actually registered, and the fitness time, like till 2032 it is fit to drive. Then 27 December 2021 is the time till when the insurance is valid. So that's the first checkpoint, a very basic one, but yeah, a very important one. The next one is a pretty important one where you can check if the vehicles are stolen or not. I know it's very rare that stolen vehicles are getting sold nowadays because things are getting pretty much digitized in India. However, still it's good to check these when you're buying cars individually from owners or buying from sites like Ola or Quicker or anywhere like where you are directly interacting with that person, rather than going through a registered site like Spinny, or you can take like True Value, right? So this is a very important check. So see, now there are certain states in India where like they have their own website. However, what I am gonna tell you is like a very generic one where it's like mostly from all over the India you can find if any vehicle is registered or not. So this is called as the Digital Police Citizen Services.gov.in. So let me show you it on my laptop. So if you go to this site, okay, here you'll have to key in your mobile number, enter OTP, your name. Okay, now the problem here is I have already done this, so I'm not going to repeat this process because these sites are very heavily managed and these sites are very heavily checked. Okay, even the previous site what I told you, Vahan, as well as these, right, these are monitored, like why you are logging in, is there any intention what you want to check, or if you're trying to check this registration number, what's the reason. So it's I'm not going to do that. However, by logging into this site you can download a certificate, something like this. So this will show you about the vehicle inquiry report. What it will require is, it will require the registration number of the vehicle, the chassis number and engine number. Now chassis number and engine number can be found out in either the RC of the car or else in the door panel of the car. Okay, let me put a picture here so that it shows you where you can find it. Now if you see this report, it shows that as per the information available with NCRB till date, based on the data received from states, union territories police, the property is not available in the police criminal database. That means this vehicle what I was trying to query is not stolen. Okay, so that's the second point. Now going through the third point is a very important one, is to check for the car's RC book. RC book is like a registration book. Now initially in the older vehicles it was an RC book, but now it's a smart card they give you with some chip which will tell you about the vehicle's model number, what kind of a fuel type it is, if it is petrol, if it is CNG, if it is diesel, or and it will give you the details like engine and chassis number as well, which you should physically match with the door panel, as I already said previously. If it will also tell you if the vehicle is on loan or not, and if the vehicle has been repainted, the update should be there in the RC book. So the color of the vehicle should match with the details in the RC book as well. One more important check is, in your RC book you can check if the vehicle is still on loan or not. So just try searching for the word hypothecated. Okay, so check the RC. If the hypothecated is yes, that means the vehicle is still on loan. If it is no, that means the loan has been paid off and they have also taken the NOC. So a couple of times what happens is, even if the vehicle loan is paid, they don't take NOC, so it still shows hypothecated as yes. So just check these information when you are trying to buy from a individual owner. Okay guys, one more thing in RC which tells you is a very important thing, is the number of owners it had. For example, it's usually seen that in OLX people come and say that okay, it's a single owner vehicle. However, if you check the RC, right, there is something written as number 2 or number 3. I know it varies across states. In some states the RC doesn't show you the number of owners, but if please check it from your side. If it shows 2 or 3 and you are being told 1, right, then the person who is selling the vehicle is trying to make a fool out of you. So check it and ask them that okay, why it is 3 since you are telling 1. It doesn't make sense. Even in the Vahan site, as I was telling you, even they will have all the details, but check the RC, because RC will be having more updated information. Okay, the fourth point is also an important one, is about the insurance documents. Okay, so definitely when you're buying it from a person, the insurance has to be transferred. If the insurance is already there, if it has ended, you can buy a new insurance. Okay, now when you're transferring the insurance, couple of things you should ensure: that the previous owner of the vehicle has paid the premiums on a regular basis, and check the claims what they have made. If they have made any claims from the insurance company, that means there is a chance of an accidental history. And if the vehicle is accidental, then definitely it should raise alarms in your head that there is something not pretty much right with the vehicle. Okay, so that should be like you need to take a call if you're actually going with the vehicle or not, if it is a history of getting into an accident. Also, if you're buying a used car, try to buy it like 2, 3, 4 years or 5 years old, or maybe 6 years old, I could say. One thing, right, if it is more than 15 years old, you will not get insurance. No insurance company will actually insure your vehicle. Coming to the fifth point is the service book or the owner manual. So previously there were 2 different books, but now I think it's all in one book. So it will have the details of the service history of the car. It will also have guidelines to take good care of car, and it will also have details like if you are going for your third service or fourth service or paid service or non-paid service, what all checkpoints you should ask the service center do it for you, so that you don't get cheated. Okay, for example, if you're going for your fourth service, right, the service people cannot ask you to do this and this things. If they're doing, they show them that the owner's manual and the service book saying that this isn't allowed to be changed as per the book. So that helps you to make smart decisions when you're going for servicing. Okay, also when you're buying the car, try to ask them about the servicing history. Okay, for example, if they have done it from, if suppose the car is from Honda, if they have done it from Honda, all the servicing, that's fine. Then even if they don't give you the physical slips, that's okay. You can visit a Honda store, tell them the vehicle number, chassis number and engine number. They will give the entire history of the service. However, if they haven't, right, which usually like people after the paid service, they go and they do the services from their own mechanic or from these registered mechanics like Go Mechanic or 3M or Car Spa and anything. Ask them the bill, ask them the receipt, right? This is to get an idea if the car has been serviced on time or not. Because if a car is serviced on time, that means the car will be of good quality and will be in a fit and fine finish condition. If it isn't, then there's a problem. Now next point is the number 6 point is, I'll be talking a lot about forms now. Okay, it's form 28, 29, 30, 32 and 35. Okay, so forms 29 and 30 are mandatory documents which are required for buying a used car in India. The second hand car registration, okay, the registration policy requires the seller, the person who is selling the car, to sign 2 copies of form 29 and a copy of form 30 and hand it to the buyer. The buyer will then submit the same at the RTO for the transfer of ownership. Okay, so these are the uses of 29 and 30. Okay, so in a gist, if I have to tell you, form 28 is a no objection certificate that is mandatory when the car ownership is transferred between the state. For example, if you are in Maharashtra and if you are trying to go to Delhi, then this form 28 is required. It's like kind of an NOC. Even if you as an owner, if you want to make your car go from one state to other, this is a mandatory requirement. And if you are buying interstate, then form 28 is required. 29, as I told you, is a notice of transfer of car ownership. 30 is the application for the intimation and transfer of car ownership. Okay, forms 32 and 35 are needed when the seller has taken a loan and it's the procedure of transferring the loan. Okay, so if suppose there is no loan on the car and if the car is not getting an interstate transfer, only form 29 should be enough and 30 should be enough for you, because that will just like make your car transfer from the previous owner to your owner to you as. Okay, also as I told you about the loan and everything, but still let me clarify this, that in case the car was brought through a loan, if you are the buyer, you have to ensure that you have an NOC from the bank which gave the loan to the first person. Because if you don't have an NOC, that might be that will not give you confidence, right, that if the vehicle has, the entire loan has been paid or if it has not been paid. So ensure that you have an NOC. If you don't have an NOC and if any payment is left and you buy that car, then the bank will start following you, because since you have become the new owner of the car. So please ensure that you have an NOC from the bank which has actually financed the car. Point is like pretty ignored one, I would say. Nowadays, like people have started getting CNGs fitted in the car, like as a second fuel option. If your car is petrol, they put CNGs. Of course, the reason is they want to save money on the fuel, considering the petrol prices are and the diesel prices are pretty high in our country at the moment. So now what happens is, so your car is now a bi-fuel. Okay, it runs on two fuel. Now many people don't know, but there is a certification that is required for this bi-fuel cars. Okay, and if a car has been configured to run on two types of fuel, the seller should ideally provide the certificate to the buyer. I know it doesn't work out here, people don't do that, but please, as a buyer, if you see this and if you're buying a car on bi-fuel, please ensure that you take this certificate. Okay, and NOC is also required from the RTO indicating the same. Okay, so you should ask buyer for the sale of a receipt of the kit too. Okay, now coming to the 8th point, which is not a very mandatory one since you can easily make it yourself, is the PUC certificate. PUC is pollution under control certificate. This can easily be made in any of like government offices or any of the petrol pumps here, where you go, you pay a minimum amount of 50 or 100 rupees. They will check the PUC, the pollution under control check they will perform, and they'll give you a small certificate. So ensure that you ask once with the owner if they have it. If they don't have it, you can immediately go then and there and you can make one from your side. Okay, so these are all the 8 checkpoints, as I told you, is mostly from a documentation perspective, right, which will give you a confidence about if the car is correct or not. Also, as I told you, even if you are buying from a pre-owned car dealer or car company itself, ensure that you check all these 8 points. Okay, this will give you a confidence that, okay, even if you are trusting them, but still check it, because it will give you a confidence that yes, you are buying a right product for you and your family, so that you don't get into a hassle of a stolen car, of a car which is not registered, or if the car which is like of multiple owners or something like that. Okay, so please ensure this. I hope this video was helpful. I request you to please like this video if you feel this is helpful, share it with your friends and family over WhatsApp and Facebook, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, and you take very good care of yourself.